Well, I always wanted to see this. I'm in Guernsey, Wyoming, and I am right, and I'll show you in a sec, I'm right next to the Oregon Trail. And how do I know that? Well, besides being told by the signs, there are wagon ruts right there, cut into the sandstone for people coming, I guess, towards me, going west, because I'm looking east. I've seen these in numerous books, pictures, documentaries. Never saw them in person, and it's just really pretty incredible. It's interesting. I'll show you the scenery out here, and Guernsey is only about 1,100 people. Sorry, I can't see the video that or the phone I'm holding. I can't see what I'm taking, but I'm assuming these are more ruts. There's the depression in the ground here leads up there, and it wasn't one continuous line. Okay, now I'm walking in the ruts. So cool. Starting about 39, 41, they started coming through here on the way to Oregon or California. It's split off. But like I say, it wasn't just one set of ruts. I mean, things would get bad or muddy or get too deep, and then they'd take a little detour 20 feet, around those. So there's numerous, little ruts that don't run generally in the same direction, but can be all over the place. Just like if you're driving your vehicle on a bad road, a dirt road out here, and you take an alternative route around a tree or something that's fallen down. But anyway, you can see how open. I use the word desolate, but I do like it. So desolate isn't pejorative in my book. I'm the only one out here, actually. There's a little place to park your car and everything, and I'm the only car parked there. It's about 11 o'clock in the morning, and it's got to be in the upper 80s. The sun is pretty hot, but I like that too. So anyway, you can see how open it is, and can you imagine if I panned around and you didn't see the town? No buildings, as few as there are. I mean, it's a small town, but it'd be amazing that maybe this was all you would see. And that's true, that's all you would see from probably 1841 through at least 69. In 69, the Continental Railroad was built, was hooked up, and the traffic along the trail, even though it continued officially to like 1890, and then there were still stragglers, but then it was going through some private property, I guess, because there were ranches that were established out here. There was a lot less after 1869 because people could take the train, even though it was expensive. So there were still people for 20 some years that decided to do the wagon. And then, of course, there was not the threat of any native tribes. There were probably more water stops and things like that. So it became a lot easier even to do this, but it was still lengthy. And but for those who didn't have the money to load up onto the train, it's really their only way. Either that, or I guess probably more expensive to take a boat to the Panama Canal when that was built. That was later, of course. As you see down here, water erosion. But this is all sandstone, and that's why these are preserved so well. I walked on ruts on the Oregon Trail, which was actually the Overland Trail, which is a branch of that trail that was established near Saratoga, where I worked in 1861, because they had to withdraw troops from for the Civil War that were protecting from the native tribes the immigrant wagon trains. Anyway, so they did a southern little offshoot, little alternative. And I walked, the first year I was in Wyoming, working there, 76, I walked 11 miles to North Platte. Failed to see the wall where they wrote the name down, and didn't get a chance to see that till probably 20 years ago when my buddy and I drove out there. But I did walk it twice, and both times I failed to be out there and get a glimpse at that wall that they inscribed their names on. So anyway, I'm assuming that this is part of the rut here, and again, some are deeper than others because of the type of soil, or if there was sandstone, or soil. But this is quite enlightening. Enlightening in the sense that it gives it more of a real feeling, I guess, to me. And I guess this is right there. See, trail would go up here, would follow this. Actually, they're coming towards me because they're going west. Oh, and here's a chute. I guess this is part where right here. Didn't even notice this. There's a trail right there. Oh boy, amazing. They weren't too wide, were they? I'm walking on the actual trail, and there's the ruts, and it's pretty amazing that these still exist. And like I say, they started about 180 years ago, and probably last ones were prior to 1900. And sorry, I don't mean to be, this is probably terrible camera work because I'm not looking, again, I'm looking where I'm walking, just like similar to when I'm driving and I can't look at the screen, but I can't even see the screen because it's so sunny. So like this would be the alternative. Say, of course you wouldn't go up as an alternative, but if you came to something that was an obstacle, you'd take your wagons around it. And so hence there are a lot of little areas where they go around it a little bit, and some areas where they go around it a lot. Can you imagine? I really can't. I mean, it's just unbelievable. But I'm so glad that I'm here to sort of put it into perspective for me, somewhat. Again, who could have imagined traveling out west in a wagon with all your possessions, which wouldn't be many, and I'm thinking that some of this stuff is more recent than this is not registered cliff. And I don't like when people mark this up, except for when they did it when they came out, because then it was historic. Not so historic now if you do it. But I don't know where I'm walking. I'm just walking, trying to see if there are other glimpses of ruts. I'll go up on this little bluff, and then I'll call it a video. I'm sure they didn't go down there. They must have gone around there. But I mean, there were so many obstacles. Not only huge mountains, but these types of hills, and how hard it is to just. You had oxen, or you had mules or whatever pulling the wagon, but most of the time you had to walk because they were there carrying enough of your goods and food and everything that you needed for the 3 or 4 month, 5 month journey. And so you couldn't afford to sit in the wagon and just lay back and enjoy. Plus, I'm sure it wasn't exactly the most comfortable ride. People talk now about, oh, it's got terrible suspension, and it just doesn't ride very well. Can you only imagine, go this way, what it would be like with a wooden wheel, spoked wheel, with metal around the rim, and going across country on a route that was so rough, and made even rougher, I guess, sometimes by other wagons. I guess this is the same one that I came down, but I just want to keep. So this is the direction they would be going, the one direction I'm going, And yeah, we're still about 43 or 4,400 feet high. So my breathing, even though I got to get in better shape. I definitely do when I get back home and start working out more cardiovascularly. But nonetheless, about 3,800 feet higher than I would be at home. So anyway, I'll get over here and as I always do, or most of the time, apologize for the video because I really cannot see what I'm taking video of. But it's an amazing thing to see, and I'm glad I have the time to stop and take this. And it's funny, I thought the trail was north of the east-west road that I was traveling on, but apparently it was south. And so, surprise, surprise, learned something new. Guess I have to review my history and maps better. But anyway, Wyoming, beautiful. I can smell the pine trees and the sagebrush at occasion where it is. That gives off a very distinct aroma. I don't see much of it here, but more grass. But anyway, I think that's about it. I will. Oh, see, I was trying to look at my screen and I missed a step. Thank God I stayed on my 2 feet. I didn't break a hip. So here we are. All right.